Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for the response on the last video. We loved your comments and really appreciate your support. Carry on the likes and subscribes, and thank you so much. Today we're going to show you a little bit around the shop. We're going to show you some updates. We've got an update on an AC Cobra that we're busy with some front suspension and some engine and gearbox mountings. We've got a Mini with a Hayabusa motor. We've got a beautiful R33 GTR that we are doing complete build on. We've got a sexy R34, and we've got an engine that we're building for a GTST, a special 3-litre version. So let's go through and have a look. To start with, we've got this AC Cobra. What is an AC Cobra? Well, it's a kit car. So this one here was brought to us. Somebody had started the kit, started the process, and failed. So they brought us the complete project, and what we've done is the following. Let me show you over here. So to start with, what we've done is we've created a new chassis member. We have added this to the existing chassis member and just remade the front piece because it was out of square and just not up to the task. So we've recreated the whole front piece of the chassis. We have then removed and mounted. So these cars use a donor vehicle front suspension. This is quite an old school build. So this here is utilizing a Jaguar XJ6 front end. So we have removed it off its original cross member, and we have designed and mounted our own bracketry onto the chassis and moved the front suspension to get the correct geometry that we require for a Cobra. It is different to a Jaguar XJ6 in that the suspension layout is now moved around and manipulated in order to make it drive properly for this application. So we have created all of these members and all of these brackets. This is still a work in progress. We have also recreated and made new engine mountings. We have made gearbox mountings, and this is the process. This is the process. It just moves on and on and on. We are also, with our sister company, Prototype Developments, making up some new shock absorbers. These will be Bilstein units. So we are busy mocking up all the little bits and pieces. So that's why there's some 3D printed bits and pieces on here. Let me show you the Mini. So here's the super exciting Mini with a Hayabusa motor. This has had phenomenal response on social media. Thank you so much for that. Let me give you an update, a little bit of background history on this vehicle. So this vehicle was brought to us already with this conversion done to it. This is a conversion kit that comes from the UK. We have now had to alter this kit because it wasn't up to scratch. And let me show you a few of the nuances of what we have done so far. So now that I'm down here, let me show you what we've done so far. The engine was already mounted in this framework. However, the drivetrain mountings and the adjusters, etc., were not up to scratch. They kept bending, and it just wasn't up to our standard. So we have recreated a complete new subframe that mounts to the original subframe that now strengthens and holds true the rear driveline. We're now busy with the drive shaft mock-ups. These are the old drive shafts. They're now going to be running in a straight direction. Before they were running at an angle, which is no good. So we are remaking new drive shafts for this vehicle. We are also recreating the airbox, which I'll show you next. Okay, so what we've done is we have removed the original Hayabusa airbox. This is a nice design in the motorbike. However, in a car, the design applications have to change. So what we've done is we've created an aperture inside the rear of the car because we'd like to have cold air induction and have that away from the heat of the motor. So there's a soundboard on the back of the vehicle. We have made a hole in that, and what we are now creating is a new airbox. So this is the base for the airbox. We have created another piece that fits onto the throttle bodies themselves. Those will come through into a fabricated air filter. From that, it gets a box that goes over that with two pipes coming out the sides, and those go through to the window glass mechanisms that we've made. So these are NACA ducts, and that will provide cold air induction from the rear windows into the airbox, giving us nice cold air and a beautiful induction sound outside of the vehicle. Inside should also be a little bit raucous, but that's what the nature of this vehicle is. It's so cool. Let us know in the comments what you think of this beauty. So here you see, this is one of the side windows that we have created. We replicated the original glass. This is polycarbonate, so it's very strong. We have then added an aperture over here for these buy-in parts. These are a NACA duct unit, creating a low pressure area inside here and creating airflow into a pipework, which is then going to feed our ice cold air to both sides of our airbox inside the car. Okay, so here we are with this beautiful R33 GTR. This is a complete rebuild. So this car has been away at the panel beater. It has been lovingly painted by State Panel Beaters. They have done a phenomenal job on this car. It really is totally stunning. It's in ice white, which is not a genuine GTR color, but the client really loves the color, and I think it really shows off the beautiful lines of our R33. Our contribution to this is cleaning up, building and fabricating parts to make this thing so sexy. So we have started off with a motor. The motor is a forged 3-liter converted RB26. It runs some of our own proprietary parts, a lot of Platinum Racing Products parts. It's really got some beautiful things in it. It's running a Garrett turbo. It's running a teal wastegate. And what we have done internally is it's got some forged pistons and conrods. It's got ACL race series bearings. It's got a performance oil pump. The cylinder head is in standard guise at the moment, but this car is pretty beautiful and pretty strong the way it is. It's a beautiful, very nice, refined road car. We have also updated the aircon system on the vehicle. We've retrofitted an aftermarket aircon pump because these are getting aged now. We've also gone through all the wiring on this car. So we have created new wiring looms and repaired some of the aged wiring in the vehicle. While we were busy with the aircon, we removed all the aircon units inside the vehicle. We had to remove the dash. To do so, while we had the dash out, we removed some of the aged and previously installed. You've got to realize that these cars have got a life prior to ownership in Japan and all over the world. And of course, people add things all over, and some people do things properly and some don't. So a lot of the times it's best just to remove all those adages and start afresh. So that's what we've done. We've removed all the aftermarket gadgets that have been tied into this vehicle over the years and neatened up all the wiring. We have remounted the Haltech ECU and made brackets for that. The aircon unit inside has been flushed and pressure tested, so the dashboard will now be going back in with all new wiring and cleaned up wiring. And we have gone through the gearbox, we have gone through the drivetrain. This car is running a prop shaft World carbon fiber prop shaft. We have also updated the alternator. All the water pipes have been changed to Samco silicone units. We are now busy with some fabrication of a new airbox. We have recently fabricated new boost pipes for this vehicle using Wiggins clamps, Wiggins style clamps. We fabricated a new intercooler. And then we have also adapted the original throttle body to take, it's now got a single throttle body. We have adapted that to take Wiggins style clamps as well. All done in-house here at the Machining Man. Let me take you over to, this is the beauty. Let me show you the beast. Let me take you over to the beast. Right, so we're going to start up with a little bit of upward hype. The car's on the lift. I wanted to do this to show you the amazing work that we've done underneath the car. Once again, this always shows a nice perspective of the standard of work that goes on underneath the vehicle. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not important. So we'll start off with this amazing handmade 4-inch exhaust pipe. This is all made in-house with this custom tip, 4 inches. This has got a downward facing tip so it doesn't burn and damage the beautiful carbon work on this car. This is one of the most severe cars that we've built here at the Machining Man. This is quite powerful, and it's got a lot of very custom and a lot of very well-known parts in it. And let me carry on showing you a little bit of this beautiful fabrication work, down to the detail of even the exhaust mounting and its brackets. These are all handmade, it's lovingly made. There's been so much time and effort, and it's so lovely when you've got a client that allows you to show your craft. So we just wanted to show that even underneath the car, everything has been run beautifully. It's been P-clamped, it's been bracketed. There's nothing that is left to chance. Everything is just taken care of, whatever it takes. If it needs it, it gets it. Doesn't matter how many hours it takes, it gets it. Let me take you upstairs and show you a little bit of under the bonnet. I just thought I'd leave you with this little tidbit of the 63mm downpipe. So to start with, on this amazing beast, now that it's down on the ground, we're going to show you an intercooler. Now this is not any intercooler. This is a 5-inch intercooler. I'm sure there's not many of these running around in the world. That's quite a large size, but there's quite a lot of things happening here, and this thing has to really keep its cool. So let me show you a few more little updates. So underneath the intercooler, you'll also notice an oil cooler that's been fitted in the front here. Keep these oil temperatures down. Then we go up here to the aircon system, where we have updated and fitted a whole lot of new parts. Then we move back to a custom-made radiator with this custom, beautiful decorative shroud. This does two things. It forces the air all through the radiator, as well as it looks beautiful. From there, we go to a Kinsler manual fuel pump. This is driven off the camshaft. This car's got a lot of beautiful Platinum Racing Products goodies on it. It's got Nitto crankshaft in it, conrods, pistons. It's got a lot of sexy things, all from the UK and from Australia. So let me show you a little bit more about the detail that goes into a build like this. To start off, you'll notice that we're running aerospace type fittings. We use these military grade fittings and pipe work to stop any problems happening with these vehicles. You can imagine building an engine like this is extremely expensive, and to run an engine like this without running hosing and piping like this would be a very silly idea. The reason being is a water pipe could pop off, damage the engine. The fuel system, a pipe could come off, the engine can run lean and break the engine inside. So as many precautions as we can take, we take. So this is a real testament to how a race type technology or military type technology finds its way into road cars and builds like this. So you'll notice this car runs a mechanical fuel pump. That is not the norm on these types of builds. However, it is the norm when you're going for extreme power and reliability. So the fuel pump, as I said, was being driven off the camshaft itself. So it reduces the electrical load on the vehicle and supplies a constant high volume pressurized system. We then move down. We have upgraded the alternator system on this car. It's now running a Chevy LS1 style alternator with PRP kit to make it bolt onto this platform. Then from there, we have made a lot of custom parts, like this custom water bottle. We've got a custom catch can, oil catch can. We've got a custom breather. We've also got the sexy turbo system here, which is also not the norm, and bespoke here at the machining man. Let me show you a little bit more detail on this. But before we get to that beautiful turbo system, look at this. Without turbo, without induction, you don't have anything. This is a custom premium creation CPC manifold, lovingly made in Australia. You'll notice it's got 12 injectors. Yes, folks, 12 injectors. With any build where you're needing high horsepower, it's a very, very simple ratio of fuel to air. You need fuel. If you can't give it fuel, it's not going to make horsepower. So we run 2 sets of staged injectors. We do this for the following reasons. The first stage injector is a smaller injector. We do this so that it atomizes. It's got a better atomization at lower RPMs, and the vehicle can run up to a certain RPM utilizing just one stage injector. And as we increase the boost and the fuel demand increases, we then add the second row of fuel injectors. We are now running a drive-by-wire throttle body. This car is being running on this car, we are now running the Haltech Nexus. With the Nexus, we are able to run the stage injectors. We are able to run drive-by-wire. We're running drive-by-wire. We are running traction control, ABS. It's all controlled through the Nexus. It's actually a really, really, really amazing product. And thank you, Haltech, to all of us here on the ground. We really, really love your products. Let me show you the turbo system. So here it is, the Outlaw Racing cast manifold. This manifold is special for a few reasons. First of all, this manifold is able to run a large frame turbo underslung. So the turbo sits right down at the bottom where heat management is key. So the turbo sits down the bottom, we have the manifold, we have now created ourselves a whole lot of real estate under the bonnet. We run a 63mm wastegate with a V-band right opposite the turbo, so we've got very, very nice boost control. We then from there have created this induction pipe that sneaks its way through underneath the manifold and the boost pipes up to what will be the air filter. We're running a very, very large air filter because obviously the turbo is quite large. We are on this particular build, we are running a Garrett 4202 Turbo GTX. We are able to run bigger sizes than that, but this is going to be quite a severe road car. We are still utilizing the original aircon, power steering, all in the original locations, and this is just our interpretation of what makes a really neat and presentable road car. As you know, the value of these cars is increasing, and what's the use in owning one of these cars if it can't be totally streetable? So our brief here is to make this car very refined on the street, even though it has got such crazy horsepower potential. So there was a slight update about what's going on in the shop. We are also building a couple of engines, which we haven't got ready for filming yet, but they'll be in the next episode. And we just wanted to thank you guys for liking and subscribing, and keep up the viewership. We really appreciate your support. And what's coming up is we've got a Lexus ISF build in the shop that is busy with a whole lot of particular parts that you're really going to enjoy. That's going to be in the next episode, and we'll keep you updated in the next one. So check you later.